This is last week's winner, Michael van Turenhout, in sparkling form. Turenhout is here in a big favourite. This is Ellie Iservit van der Bosch, the 23-year-old riding. Here we go, Cyclocross Beringen underway. This fascinating and unique course that makes it such a great race. Really good start by Corne van Kessel in the middle there for the Tourmans with the yellow and blue shoulders. They're going over a little speed bump. There's a couple of speed bumps down this straight, actually. He's up alongside Michael van Turenhout, last week's winner. Van Turenhout just cruising into this corner, but it is the Dutchman, Corne van Kessel, who leads in first. If you didn't watch the women's race just now, I can tell you it is an absolute climb fest, this, with 90 metres of altitude. He is locked in on the drops in second place, following the far more compact and shorter figure of Ellie Iservit, last year's winner.
Yep, one of the advantages of getting off cantilever brakes and going on to hydraulic disc brakes is, you don't need that massive leverage to pull the brakes hard enough to slow down on these bumpy, steep descents. So you can actually remain on the hoods, nice relaxed from Iservit there, keeping a nice bend in the elbows and getting enough power from the hoods. That's all he needs. But see, some people preferring to go down on the drops, a little bit safer according to some coaching.
That's interesting. Quick question for you, particularly for those who are new to cross then, Ian. Apart from the fact that it's the rules, why no flat handlebars? I'm going to chuck that one at you. Why no flat? Because you used to get, even at World Cup level, you would still see occasionally, I'm going back probably about 20, 25 years ago, but flat handlebars are not allowed.
No.
I want to ask you why. Why? Particularly in a course like this.
I think...
Sorry, I've just thrown that at you. I'm not necessarily expecting an answer, but it's just the way things are now, isn't it?
It is, and it looks horrible, so quickly moving on.
You're talking to a man who rides, I ride a 29er set up, another kick, and then just steadies it after that. These little accelerations are very much his trademark, aren't they, Ian?
Yeah, for sure. He's proper cross rider, kicking out those corners and just constantly making people come back to him. And cross is one of those sports with the slowing down and speeding up out of corners, out of features. People only come back so many times before they run out of energy. So Ellie really on the front foot this weekend and looking good. It was interesting last weekend. He didn't have the greatest ride of his own standards after, like you said, 14 wins last year, which is some going. And this summer he was complaining of a back injury. So even in July, he was still coming back from a back injury. So interesting to see if there's one course that's really going to stress you back, it's this out the saddle climbing, real bumpy descents as well, just to really kind of kick you into.
Michael van Turenhout, Lars van der Haar and Pim Ronhaar. They are the 5 leading riders. So 10 laps, I was wrong. We're going to go for 10 laps. 2 complete so far.
Yeah, we see Ellie not forcing it down the road, not wanting to drag that one ditch. So some interesting team tactics playing out now.
Is that a case, Ian, of one rider doing it, showing they can jump that bit and land the other side, and then the others start to follow? Because, as you say, we didn't see that at all in the women's race. But if someone starts doing it every lap, then the others think, well, I'm going to have to go with that and try and jump it myself.
Perhaps very much safer to go wide and pump through the ditch, whereas Iservit felt like there was a little bit of panic setting in there when the gap was opening up. So he took a chance, turned tight and wheelied through, landed the back wheel quite hard against the kind of the banking, the opposite side of the ditch, and it was worth it because he closed the gap. But perhaps something that he's not going to do every single lap. But like that uphill that he rode, he might keep that in his locker, even though he's just shown it right now to everyone behind him. But Pim Ronhaar did not see that, which is interesting.
No. 2 Dutchmen and 2 Belgians in our leading group there. And we've already seen, without going into too much detail, surprise, surprise.
And Pim Ronhaar took the wide, smooth line and actually lost a place to Iservit. Had to go back round him, around that next to that concrete bowl. So, yeah, definitely a little spot where he's losing a little bit of time, but hopefully he's wise to that come the next lap.
4 laps complete, and this could turn into a far more tactical affair than we thought it might, actually, Ian, because of the fact we've only got 2 teams represented at the front end. Well, we're into the second half of this race now. Back into the gravelly descent. I haven't seen any bike changes so far. But this is proving to be a wonderful, and this sounds boring, but it's not, featureless course. We've got no washboards, we've got no dismounting other than to run up some steep slopes, we've got no planks. We've just got pure racing up and down the side of a mine. It makes it quite unique, but it's great in a pedally sense as well, really bringing out the true bike handlers as well amongst these riders. Combination of that and climbing ability with the 90 metres of altitude gain per lap. We're about to see them turn onto the finishing straight, and they should be seeing then 4 laps to go. So we're well into the second half of this race now. Elliot's a bit looking back in, aren't they? These two know now that they can work together. Press on.
Yep. No questions asked now about what tactics we need to apply. We've gapped the two Dutch, the Trek Baloise Lions riders. It's just all in now. Doesn't matter, and then we'll sort it out between ourselves nearer the end as Pim Ronhaar decides to take off his heart rate monitor.
Done with that. That must be really annoying him to get rid of it. It could be that it's too tight. It could be it's too tight. Now, I don't know where that goes with UCI rules, because technically he's littering, but I'm not sure whether that should be done.
I said that Thibaut will get up to speed off-road after a really good summer on the road as well, signing up with Trek Segafredo, like you said.
Hey, Elizabeth, he's not taking it easy. My gosh, he's been on the edge through the last few bends as well, actually, over the top, just hanging the leg out and dabbing it a little bit. He is not settling at all. He's going to keep pressing all the way.
Not at all, and you mentioned his stature earlier, and that's one of the reasons why he's so technically good. Lower centre of gravity, more rider, can turn tighter, just all adds up, especially on a descent like this where, just makes these tight turns and steep descents look really easy.
Yeah, you couldn't get two more contrasting builds and styles between him and Michael Van Turenhout. Van Turenhout is straight locked out legs, whereas Isabit stays much lower on the bike. Here he is back across the descent. Good to have the technical insight of Ian Field, 5 times British champion, alongside me, Jez Cox, as we
easier on the equipment, change bikes a little bit more often, because I'm sure there aren't endless supplies like previous
ways. And Lars van der Haar seated. This is that chasing group as well, looking at the top 10. Thibaut Nys, Jensen Michaels and Witzer Meyerson.
Yeah, kind of. That's the next generation group coming through there, with Pim Ronhaar still a little bit ahead of those, but definitely 3. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but older guys. I know Ellie is barely 24 years old, but you think of him as one of the older guys when it comes to cross.
So he's going to be hearing the bell this time. 1 lap to go for young Eli Isabit, the 24-year-old, who's already achieved so much in our great sport. Dedicated crossman, and certainly not waiting for the arrival of Wout van Aert and Mathieu van der Poel. Striking out early because he can and because he's good enough, and he started the season really well again. Looking like, if he can hold it together over this final lap, that he might be reversing last week's second place and taking a win, opening his...
Now, whether this is going to come down to an exciting sprint down this finishing straight, or whether Lars or Michael can turn it round and dig in on this final kind of lap, and the 2 ascents they've got really to make the difference.
Well, what can he do, Ian? Could he have chosen to sit up there, swing off, and see if... I mean, Van der Haar's not going to chase down his own teammate, but if they do that, then I guess the only thing he could do if he did that, it at least brings Pim Ronhaar back into play. It's not looking... Well, I don't think they're going to catch this a bit. It's nearly a minute now. Those grooves lead down to where all those forest of wooden stakes is. We're about to see Elizabeth ride his way towards the finish and take his first win of the year. 1 week in, second race of the season. He was second last week to Michael Van Turenhout, and he's going to take the win today. The World Cup winner from last season has started this season very well indeed. Great course that suits him. And he didn't make it look easy. Nobody would make that look easy, but he certainly made it look dominant, hasn't he, Ian?
He certainly has, and after the contest pulled away.
And Michael van Turenhout now, winner 1 week ago, second today.
Managed the podium on this course last year. Perhaps not a course that particularly suits his stature and style, but yeah, another second place for him, and another 1-2 for that team.
It's good to see Lars van der Haar sprinting so hard as well. He knows he's clear, he knows he's going to take third, but he still sprints up hard behind. And a great ride by Pim Ronhart, looking like he was going to be right on that podium again. He shakes his head, but I think he should be happy with that. He obviously knows how well he's going. That was a good performance, wasn't it, Ian? A nice marker for the season for this young man as he moves